Hello students, we are continuing on the nightstand. This video is for the panels. We're still on the first stage of the 3 panels, the top and the 2 door panels. You might notice I've got a pretty serious split here in this panel. Could have happened when I was pounding it down with the mallet. Hopefully it's big enough to where we can cut it out. The other thing we can do is sometimes you can put glue on a piece of paper, work that piece of paper down into the crack, get glue in there and reclamp it and save your panel that way. I've taken these out of the clamps, obviously, scraped them, got one more to do here. So we want to do that before we send it through the planer. We've talked about that glue is so hard it can actually chip the blades in our planer, the carbide blades. So want to get the glue that's squeezed out off best we can, and we are ready to plane. Head over to the planer. I've got it set up to 1 inch. These are measuring about 15/16, but they're not all flat, so 1 inch should be fine. Turn on our noisy machine here. Roughest side up. We also want to check for stability. We want to feed it through the machine the most stable way. The most stable plane. That one's flat and stable. How about our top? Yeah, that's stable. If there's any warp or cup to it and it rocks, we want to try both sides. The way it rocks the least, that's the way you're going to feed it in. Remember, our planer only takes off the top side. Feels like I need to put some more. Need to take it off a little more. Well, you know what? Send them all through that. This panel is quite a bit bigger. Yeah, it's taken off a little more on that one. It does take off the top only. Roughest side up. So we're going to flip that. Didn't take much off of this one. I'm going to send it through again since I changed it another half a turn. All right, so I could flip it as well. We want to leave them as thick as possible. Let's take off another 3/4 of a turn. See what we get. Feeding one at a time. Looks pretty clean, doesn't it? And we are ready to sand. We sent them through as a set, so they'll all be the same setting on the next machine, which is our surface sander. Let's turn this one off. Turn this one on. Let's check our thickness. We are at almost 0.9880. All right, so I'm gonna start there. Let's see if it hits at all. It's about right. What's next after the planer and surface sander? You've been through this process a few times. You should know. I'm wondering if this is registering. Had a little trouble last week. Don't want to go more than 5 amps, right? Still seeing a little bit of mill marks. Gonna flip them. Rough side up. Gonna take another half a turn. Let's go 3/4. My plan of procedure says send them through 3 times. You may or may not have to do that. Might have to do it more depending on how it comes out each time. Once again, both machines, 1 piece at a time. You don't want to send through multiple. That side's done. That one could use it a little more. That's a little more on that side. Remember, we want to leave them as thick as possible. I'm going to go one more time. We also have to hand sand, right? So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. This is saving us quite a bit of effort on the hand sanding. Using the whole belt, different spot each time. We wouldn't want to just use one spot, then that we wear out the belt in that one spot. That belt is this big. When you use the whole belt, feels like it's having a little bit of issue there. It's getting stuck a little bit. All right, looks good. We are finished with that. Turn off our sander. All right, did you remember what the next 4 steps are? I gave it away there, didn't I? We have to cut them to size, don't we? 4-step process. We join an edge. We evaluate. Obviously, we want to take off this, right? So we want to joint the other edge and then rip this on the table saw, step 2. So step number 1, join a straight edge. We're higher than the fence, so we can use our hands. One more time. I waxed the table, and man, I can really feel it. It's sliding so much easier. On this one, might want to get rid of that mineral stain, so I'm going to do this edge. That'll work. Notice how I marked it, because, and I'm going to wait on the top, I'll do that later. I want to show you guys just on these 2, the 4-step process. So we want to mark it because it's critical on step 2, jointed edge. Step 3 and 4, jointed edge against the fence on each machine. All right, my plan says that these raised panels are 7 3/16 by 13 3/8. So we need that. 7 3/16 is our width. Okay, and it is set up to 7 3/16. I don't remember doing that. We're gonna double check. Well, that looks good. Let's check our blade height. Should have a 1/4 inch of blade showing. We do. No more than a 1/4 inch, right? Don't need the push sticks because the groove is showing. We can use our hands. Keeping it tight to the fence. We've talked about if it comes away from the fence, it's no longer our measurement. On the scrap, we don't want to reach in with our hands, right? Finger 6 inches at all times. The other one, same measurement. All right, and that will be scrap. I'm going to put it on the cart. This one wouldn't work, but that might be a rail or style down the road. Okay, step 3 and 4. Over to the radial arm saw, right? Once again, we need it to be 13 3/8 when we're done. So, evaluating, which edge do I want to take off? Which one had the crack in it? Maybe we already got rid of the crack. Hey, that's a bonus. All right, so I'm gonna, because the mineral stain is there, I'm gonna take off this one. So jointed edge against the fence. On this one, I don't see any issues, so we'll just jointed edge against the fence. All right, here we go. Step number 3, jointed edge against the fence, squaring an end. Just far enough to make the cut, and we take it back. Then we'll flip it.